Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the Avatar Wolf. We have week number. What week is this actually? Because I don't remember. Real quickly before I start, I just want to remember the actual week we are in for the tournament. We're in week number 4. Week 4 here on the channel. We got some awesome games to talk about tonight. 4 games in general from the chess tournament. We had one person that forfeited again. As always, Jeff has been forfeiting since week 2. Hadn't been able to play his games. It's fine. No big deal. I already put an actual thing in the channel about it. And we'll just keep going from here. So we're going to review first game tonight. We're going to review is going to be Jake versus Myer tonight here on the channel. We're going to get through this game quickly. We have 3 awesome games. Let's see if we have anyone learning from their mistakes from week 1, because these guys are starting week 1. Let's see how it goes here. We got Jake going with the Queen's Pawn opening. Myer answers in kind. We're going to see probably a London system being effect. Puts the bishop out first, accelerating the London system. Now, if you want to do a regular London, you do the knight first, I believe. And then after, let's just say, going after the pawn, that's when... Oh, yeah. Going after the pawn, then you put the bishop out, I believe, is more of a London. Or maybe I'm just, like, forgetting how the London works. Maybe this is actually the right way, and then the knight comes out. But let's just keep going here. I'm tired, guys. Bishop comes out. F6. Defend the pawn here. Nothing's attacking it. Now you probably should put this knight out. E3. Locking the position. Defends the pawn. And also, because if he goes and puts this out right here, he can actually defend this pawn, at least with the pawn. And then also the knight. E6, defend the pawn back. Not bad. Okay. We got 2 defenses on both pawns. Both players playing very defensively. B5, check from the bishop. And as you can see, the elo bar is saying it's, well, it's even technically. But they're saying +7 if Myer does defend with the bishop first. He doesn't. He defends with the pawn. Now Jake has to get rid of this bishop here. He cannot leave the bishop here. He has to go backwards. And then you might see Myer just push the pawn up here. A little bit of tunnel vision here, but hey. Instead, he goes all the way back. Not a bad move by Jake, actually. Gets it in the middle. Gets his London system pyramid going here. E5. Going after the other bishop over here. Not a bad attack by Myer. Honestly, if I am Jake, I just take the pawn. What do I take it with, though? Do I take it with the bishop? Oh, no. I take it with the pawn. Yeah. Gotta take it with the pawn. Because that's a free pawn, really. I mean, what do you do here? There's nothing that can really stop you from doing this. Like, this is just a free pawn. You get, like, you might be ruining your London system pyramid scheme. But now you're also attacking the horse. Myer would have to move the horse. Myer would have to actually figure out what he's doing here. This is just a bad move by Myer. He's just giving up a free pawn for free. And basically, you're going in for attacks here. And I mean, Myer's system is kind of skewed. Myer's horse has to move out of the way. I mean, let's just say he moves it, like, I don't know, right here. Again, you can again push the pawn up. Even if he takes it right here, you're just getting a free rook over on the side if you want to get the horse. But you can also go in and just start clobbering the position. You can get a check right here, force Myer out, force him into a bad situation, win the queen easily. And, like, this is just bad for Myer here. And that's if Jake actually decides to punish Myer for pushing that pawn all the way out. And it just starts with a simple E5 move like this. And, yeah, it's just not the best for Myer. Jake takes up the bishop. G4. So this is easy stuff right here by Myer. He's going for the bishop, but also you gotta watch out for this pawn right here. Probably the first key right here is just to push the bishop back one. Or you could go in for maybe an attackive position here. You can maybe go for, like, maybe go back here and defend the pawn right here. That would not be bad, too. Jake moves it back 1, doesn't defend the pawn. And now Myer forces the queen in, and it's obvious what Myer's going for here. And this is why when you're actually, like, when you get... Jake had tunnel vision, he only saw this, he did not see this. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say real quickly, this is your weakest pawn on the board. Normally, you want to get, this is why you want castle, because if you do not castle, this pawn is weak, especially if you move like certain pieces around. That's why people castle quickly, just so this pawn can't be a factor in their games. And you have to be noticeable when this is happening. When you got a double fork like this, yes, is this under attack? Yes, absolutely. But guess what? This is also under attack. The easiest way to get out of this situation here, just move it back and defend the pawn. So then this can't actually come over here because this is just a free queen by Myer. But no, instead Jake goes back 1. The advantage is now +2 for Jake, but right here comes Myer with the attack, and Jake has to do one simple move, and that is probably move either the queen here or move the bishop back maybe. I wouldn't want to do the bishop to g3. I mean, you can. You can move the bishop to g3. I think queen to e2 is actually the best like scenario here. This is defend the pawn. You can't checkmate him. Even if he goes in, it's just a queen trade, and you're winning if you're white easily. Because this just takes, and then like even though you're missing your castle, I mean you could just like you get chances to castle later on. You could just manually castle if you really wanted to, but you guys see my point. So we got Myer going in. Jake doesn't see the threat, and Myer wins game 1 within 8 moves. Not the best game for Jake, but hey, Myer wins game 1 easily. Doesn't mean that game 2 and game 3 are not going to be a slugfest. Jake hopefully learned from his first mistake here tonight. We'll see how he does in game 2 against Myer as the black pieces. Now, let's see how Jake responds in kind to Myer checkmating him in 8 moves. We got a queen pawn opening by Myer. c6. Now, here's the thing about this, is that Jake's going for a Caro-Kann, but what he doesn't realize is that the Caro-Kann is only activated if the if white goes to e4. That's when the Caro-Kann can actually happen, because that's when you have to make the decision of actually taking the pawn or not taking the pawn or closing the position. But Jake going off his coveted Caro-Kann defense here. Myer gonna put some pawns in the middle here. Pushing up. This is looking like an interesting position that Myer is actually creating. Jake goes for his Caro-Kann, which is not Caro-Kann because the queen pawn is right here. I think Myer actually learned about the Caro-Kann, and that's why he was like, okay, you know what, Jake? I know you're going to run the Caro-Kann when we play each other, so I'm going to actually stop that position from happening by playing d4. c3. Now, let's just see more moves before I actually make a mention of this. Okay, so just what I thought. What we're seeing here by Myer is more of a stonewall defense for the black pieces. I don't think this is actually the way you run it. Actually, it actually, yeah, it is the way. Usually don't push this pawn up. Usually you push this pawn up here, and usually it's this pawn staying back. But this is actually very interesting because the stonewall defense makes it where these bishops basically cannot really move because this is all just blockading the dark squares. And it's one of the fewest openings where you can play as both white and black, is the stonewall defense. The whole key is to stop it where this is happening and then making decisions with the white bishop. Your white bishop staying free. And if Jake actually realized he was playing the stonewall defense, he shouldn't have put the horse right here on d7. Let's continue. Horse moving out. I think Jake realizes it's a stonewall defense. He needs that white square bishop to actually control some of this movement here. f3. We're back to even on the elo bar. Pinning the horse to the queen, not bad by Jake. We're gonna see something that a lot of like low-level elo players see, and that is attack the bishop though. h3, attacking the bishop. The bishop is gonna go back 1. Honestly, I would do this because I mean, look at this position here. This is not. This is hard to control if you're Myer. I mean, this is looking like bad for Myer in a way. The elo bar says it's dead even, but I mean, look at this pawn structure. I mean, where are you gonna castle if you're Myer when you get all your pieces out? Keep that in mind when you're doing something like that. Also, it's also not bad just to take the horse and make it where these pawns are basically like doubled. and making this actually open, because this is actually going to be a problem as well for Myer in the future if you actually do something like this. But Jake moves back 1. E5, pushing in. I'm going to guess we should see the queen come out. We're going to see how Jake actually defends. Like, okay, first of all, what is this actually attacking is a question. I mean, is it attacking this? No, it's going to be guarded by here. Queen guards that square. This is guarded by the king. I mean, okay. So Myer puts it into an outpost he's going to have for some future development. Jake moves the horse out into the grim square on the edge of the board. But the key is this defending this right here. But I don't know why. Oh, I mean, the queen is getting defended because this is defending the queen's like square here, so the queen can't come in. I mean, I would just move the queen up here and just force that knight out. That's just me, though. E2. So we're going to see probably Myer going to try and trade the bishops out so we can get the queen probably on this square to attack that pawn. Jake gets a little bit of television here. He goes after the knight. Myer's going to take the bishop back here. Not bad. And Jake's going to put his actual horse on an outpost. Now, remember, before it was defending this square. Now this square is not defended. And we could see Myer coming in right here. And he moves the dark square bishop to b2. Interestingly enough, if I am Jake, what am I doing here? I'm probably going to move this pawn up to defend this square again. Because this square is dangerous right now. I mean, you have the knight here. That could be like a lot dangerous. Maybe move the queen up and ask the horse how it's doing. Jake, when I said like move 1 up, I didn't mean move 2 up. All right, Myer has a full like wing position now because this is coming in and Jake can't really stop it. There it is, h5 with the bishop. Pawn just gonna move up even more. I wonder what Jake is planning here, because now he just opened up a whole H file for this rook by doing that. Okay, now he's attacking the horse, but we're kind of in a spot right now where it does not really matter. I mean, Myer might just take this horse here for free. No, he goes in for the horse right here. I mean, this is such an interesting position for both competitors because we don't know what they're really trying to do here in this situation here. I mean, I can see Myer's attack on this pawn, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I mean, Myer just has an open file as well. His rook is on. This looks just completely winning for Myer. Jake moves the queen over 1 space. Gonna probably go in right here and go for this pawn here, probably. And just like that, Myer is just going to take the pawn here. I mean, it's not bad. Not bad at all. I mean, if you do take this right here, I mean, it's not really a bad spot for Myer to be in. I mean, I think Myer's actually fully winning on this game right now. And the Elo bar agrees. I mean, just 14%, plus 14. If I'm Jake, I'm just ignoring it. What's that pawn really going to do? It's kind of stuck there, so why not just go in and go for your attack on the king? Make Myer have to think a little bit. Jake decides to open up his A file with taking the pawn right there. I mean, okay. I believe the actual engine actually likes that move. I think that's the... it's not the best move. They're saying the best move would be queen to f6. Okay, yeah, like I was saying. Like going into this file here instead of going here. I like going here, though. Why would they want me not to go here? What's actually attacking right here if you do this? F3? Oh, because it's... Okay. But even if you do that, you can still do F3 to stop it. So, take that as you will. Anyways, Jake does take the pawn. Myer goes in for a check. And here comes the aggression by Myer here. We're going to see the queen take, and we're going to see Jake just decide to give up a queen for free here. I mean, honestly, I would. The engine actually likes taking the queen, actually losing the queen here. Um, it gets better like positioning apparently, or something like that from the engine's point of view. And then next, you probably take the horse of the king. I'm kind of iffy about this right now. Jake is just going to go in onto the file, going for the G pawn. Myer's going to move back the horse. Next, probably is coming the queen to get in that position instead. If I'm Jake, I'm taking the G5 or G2 just to put some pressure on him a little bit. I mean, that pawn is wide open and free. Moves the pawn up one. I'm just kind of flabbergasted by this. B3, I don't really know what Jake is thinking here. The engine thinks the best move is actually go E6, which is interesting as well. But B3 by Jake. Myer takes the pawn, opening up this A file all for Jake. At the end of the day, though, I don't really know if that's really opened or not. Plus, Myers' file's not really opened anymore because of this pawn going over to that side. So it might be a bad move by Meyer. So I agree with Jake actually not taking this pawn here, but now you have to like move this out and get this open. And that's why really the engine made that the best move more than likely. And it's still the best move here to do for Jake because it gets your bishop actually active. Your bishop needs to get active to do something here. Of course, not go there, but like probably go here on this square and attack the horse is the key from Jake here. We see what Jake does next. He goes G2. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad move. I don't think it's a bad move. We'll see if the Myer actually plays it. Here's the thing. The Myer has to now play F1 to actually play some defense against it. If he goes F1, it's kind of a tough thing to get out of. He goes E2. Not a bad move either. And now if you're Jake, you've got a castle. So Jake is getting television here. He's going right after the A2 here. He knows he has two like rooks in a spot here. Yeah, here comes a check. And here comes Myer, who's going to start obliterating the position here. Going to go here and then here and probably get checkmate. We'll see how Jake actually plays it. He goes in, attacking the rook. Okay. Myer has to move the rook out of the way. Not bad, not bad. Goes in, gets a check. Okay. And now we're back to even because here's the thing. Jake can start putting some checks in on the board here, and he can actually win the bishop. And this is bad because even if Myer does, like, if he has to move the king over, if he does this, it's mate in two. Because after the rook on A1, check, Jake has nothing to do. Like, this is just checkmate on Myer, and it's deadly. So, like I said, Myer needs to move the king to C1 or E1 to stay in this game right now. If Jake gets this, and he doesn't get television and take the rook, and he just goes down, this game is over for Myer. And thankfully, Myer gets the right move. What? Wow. Okay. Now, Jake has to not get television. He cannot go D3 again because this this horse is defending this square here. I believe he went there earlier with the check. Yeah, he went there earlier with the check, but Myer did not see. He went D1. Let's see if Jake actually does not see that. Myer does take the horse. And just like that, it's still even right now. Myer's in bad situation here because if he brings this up at all, these rooks cannot get out of their back rank because he's going to get checkmated if these rooks move. So, like, let's just say Myer decides to go here, for example. Let's just see Jake's next move. But let's just say Myer does this, for example, just so I can show you guys. This doesn't actually help anything either. Let me just go back maybe one more. Instead, let's just say Myer moves this up forward. Oh, he has to take the horse. Okay. Well, let's just say Jake does this, for example, right? And then Myer decides to go in. That is pretty much only... Oh, yeah, because of the rook. Okay, well, you get my point, though. These rooks cannot be moving out of the way because if these rooks do not get into certain squares, it's game over. But at this point in the game, by Jake going here, it's basically game over here at this point. Especially since Myer has a mate in 5. C1 by Myer. I'm waiting for him to see what attack he does next. Jake moves the rook over 1. Myer takes the bishop. He has mate in 12. Jake has to either go d7, c7 is mate in 7, d7 is mate in 12. He goes d7, saves himself at least 12 moves. Myer goes down with the queen, gets another check. We're still in a bad spot here for Jake, but at least he's not checkmated yet. King has to move, and he moves his king into mate in 1 because c8 is checkmate. This is checkmate. The king can't move. You know what I mean, guys? Like this right here by Myer, this ends the game early, and we're going home on move 30. So we'll see what Myer does here. He goes and takes the pawn instead. Stop getting tunnel vision, guys. That's all I gotta say. You guys are looking at pawns and like pieces, and you're like, oh, I gotta take those pawns. I gotta get like less position on the board. At this point, this game's over. Just move the c8. King can't move anywhere. It's over. Instead, Myer's gonna prolong it. And by the way, this threat right here is still dangerous for Jake because, you know, if he gets a chance to get down and get this pieces going, there's a possibility that you can't stop it. Now, if I'm Jake here, I'm actually going to be forcing some checks here. Actually, you can't force some checks here. Maybe go backwards and grab this pawn. That might be a good idea. Let's see what Jake does. He goes, takes the pawn. Okay. Is that the best move? They're saying the best move is actually move your king out of the way because you're in a checkmating position here. But we know Jake is not going to see that. Myer has f7 check. He goes g8. Okay. So now you leave the queen wide open to be taken by the rook here, and Jake needs to see this. Jake needs to see this because this changes the whole game. The queens are off the board, and there is no attack here on Myer's king right now on Jake's king. Unless this pawn gets all the way over to the queen. That queen's the only attacker. And this can easily be stopped by this. Because, I mean, even if you do, like, let's just say, like, promote. Oh, wait a minute. Man, I'm playing terrible tonight. Just do this. Stop it. I mean, sure, he has to go here to actually defend it. But, I mean, that pawn's not doing anything. That pawn's not going to, like, promote. It's just not. I can't believe I just put my rook in there to get actually... Anyways, Jake doesn't see it. He goes and takes that instead, and Myer takes the rook. And just like that, Myer is now fully winning this game. Goes in for a check, does Jake. King moves out of the way. We still got mate in 11 for Myer. Rook is going to try and defend the king. Pawn's going to move up. Jake tries to defend the pawn. Myer puts him in check. Forces him out. Now Myer's going to probably check again. No, instead he's going to go in for the pawn here. I would suggest going here because that would leave the rook hanging and you can just grab the rook and then promote. But Myer doesn't do that. Instead, Jake goes for a check. Myer defends with the knight. Pawn moves up. Queen G3 even can be a check as well. But I mean, I'm like either you go here or here. What are you gonna do here, Myer? We got mate in 4, by the way. If he actually goes and takes the pawn with the rook as well. But for right now, Myer goes in. He takes the actual takes the G3. He's gonna take the rook easily. Not a bad move here. Now let's finish the job here, Myer, and leave game 2 of a W. We got mate in 4. We got to move the queen. We have to move c4 here and grab the pawn here is the key right now. Okay. So, Jake does take the pawn. Now we have mate in 4. That is not going to be the start to mate in 4, but the way Myer has to do it is actually move the rook here instead to e7. Or... Oh, e7. Oh my... I cannot read tonight, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, he goes in for a check instead. Still mate in 4. King moves out of the way. Pawn can promote. Doesn't promote. Just takes the pawn instead. We got mate in 3. Pawn goes up by Jake, going for the horse. Does not really matter. D7 should come. Put him in check. No, instead Myer takes the pawn. Okay. B4. B7. Instead, C1. Okay. Now, it's a little bit tricky here. We can do a lot of stuff here. We gotta do D2, probably. D2 is probably your best bet right now to actually put the king in check and start the mate in 3. Now he goes B7 with the bishop, with the rook. Okay. Pawn gets taken. We got a mate in 2. Queen has to go down to B... well, queen can go to actual A6 to start it, but you can also move your bishop to B5 and start it as well. And he does. And now we got mate in 1 with the simple fact that queen go to A6, checkmate. And Myer sees it, and we are done with game 2. And Myer gets 4 points on the board. Woo! Woo! Myer's going in, ladies and gentlemen. He's not letting up against Jake here tonight. It is very good. Very, very good. That's all I gotta say. Let's go to game number 3. Jake needs the win to have at least 2 points on the board. Myer needs the win for the full 9 points in the tournament. It could be a very interesting game here. Jake's the white pieces. Myer is the black. D4. D5. Queen's pawn opening. Bishop goes all the way to G5. Jake is playing very aggressive here. Knight moves in, going for the pawn. Jake defends the pawn with the E3 push. Okay. You could have defended it with the rook, but okay. Another defender on the pawn. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Moves the bishop back 1. I mean, the bishop wasn't in trouble here. I don't know why he moved it back yet. I mean, okay. Myer moves up 1 with the E6 pawn. We got the bishop, the white square bishop on D3, getting that London system going here. Pushes the knight up over here, and he's going for that pawn again. Hopefully Jake is actually reading it this time. He goes and traps the horse to the king. Okay. We got H4. We're in Dangerville, Jake. How does Jake get out of it? Defends the pawn with the rook. That's with the knight. Not a bad defense by Jake. And Jake is actually winning here because this is actually this opening by Myer is just a one-trick pony. And if this gets stopped, there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in this position. So Myer has to realize that. B4 check. Not bad move by Myer. Moving, making up. And there's the London system castling right there. Gotta have this probably bishop go back to D3, but we'll see what Jake does instead. Next move is A5. And Jake has a full-on position right now. He can win this game. What's their next move if I'm Jake? Let's see here. Maybe get the queen out. Maybe put the queen on D3 since you don't want the bishop to be there. You could do that. We could also probably go in and attack some pieces here. We could probably take this horse here and not actually get away with it. We could probably also move this pawn up and attack the queen and make the queen actually leave that position. And that might actually, well, it doesn't trap the queen because the queen can go all the way back here, here, here. But it'll have to decide where it's going. And away from your king is actually probably the best case scenario for you right now. Moves back to E2. Okay. So we're moving back. We're not moving back to D3. We're moving back to E2 just to attack the horse here. Probably going to take the horse, and then if the queen takes the bishop, you take the queen. One level attacks here. Going to offer a trade for the bishop. If I'm Jake, I'm moving the bishop over to here, G4. Reason why is because the queen can't take it. The queen has to move now. Has to go here, or has to go either here or here. That queen's not trapped, but at the same time, it could be. It's very getting likely because then you just take the horse and then you can't really do anything to stop it. And yeah, Jake will be fully winning if he actually gets a chance to do this. Jake goes back onto the queen. The queen now has an escape route back if she has to. She goes back to h6. Not the best of moves. Jake moves the knight out. And like I said before, if you're doing this, you move the bishop here. You force the queen out to go either here or to go. Oh, yeah, there is only one place to go. It has to go here. And then this is basically, I think the queen's trapped, isn't it? Why is it saying that's not? I mean, the queen just goes here, right? Oh, the bishop can come down and actually check him on g4? Oh, the bishop. I forgot about the bishop over here. I forgot Myer didn't develop his bishop. I'm tunnel vigiling now, guys. Anyways, g3. I guess that's the better move for Jake then. It saved himself. This bishop here being a bad case scenario. But, like, yeah. My point would stand if that bishop actually moved. But anyways, back h6, d2. We got pushing back here is Myer. Gonna see what attack we got here. Do I trade the bishop and take the pawn and at least get like the horse in return? Maybe not. From d3 goes to b3 does the horse, going to attack this bishop that's defended by the horse right here. Myer goes in and takes the horse. He's going to trade off his bishop here, his white square bishop. You normally don't go after horses, but at the same time, in this scenario, what Myer wants to do is go back here, and he wants to get here and go after this pawn. So it's not like the worst case scenario, but he's just trying to simplify things more for himself. And there it is. Myer's coming in. He's going for this pawn again. This time his bishop is defending it, though, so there's that. Queen moves, attacking the horse. Queen goes over here. Gonna go right down, slide down if you can. But it doesn't really matter now because that bishop is there. Rook goes over, defends the f2 pawn. And here's another thing as well. Next move, Jake should castle. More than likely, Jake should castle next move because there's no attack here if Jake castles on the long side. Queen to f5. Okay. There's the castle. This pawn is not a threat anymore, and now you should probably push it up. Next move. Queen goes in, takes the pawn on h3. Okay. Going into attack this. Not the best thing in the world, but it works. It works for what Myer's trying to do here. What do you do in this situation? You might want to push this up. Grab this. Grab it like this. Instead, Jake just goes in and takes the pawn here. Gonna give him the bishop for return. But the good news is that he's actually opening the position up for a check. And that's his plan. You're going for a check. And just like that, the Elo bar says this is not a good decision. Myer's going to defend with the pawn. Pushes it back to d3, and now Myer's winning. I believe the bar wants you to do something aggressive here and maybe go a5. Because now if you take this, I believe you're going in right here. And I believe that's not a good sign for black here. I think the best move for black is to actually go d7. Which is going back right here. Somehow. But I'm not a computer, so I don't know the full extent of some of the moves here. But this is not it for Jake. He just now we have an attack here that Myer can do something. Like there's no attack on the king from Myer here. No aggressive assault here. Myer goes in, takes the h2 pawn, and that is apparently bad by the engine. Next, we see the bishop get taken by the horse, and Myer's in full control again. Horse goes back. Jake now has the advantage again. This is getting very intense, guys. Moves bishop back one. What's Jake thinking here? Okay, we move the pawn up. Jake goes in. So the plan right now is take this and then take this. Whoops. Because this horse is going to defend this, but then this horse is still there to defend this. So you might want to take the horse next. This horse needs to go. I would just take the horse. Because this horse has to go now, too. This horse can't stay there. What's this horse going to do, Jake? This horse can't do anything now. It can't defend this pawn. It has to go somewhere. It can't go here because it's taken. It could go here. It's actually safe right here. So it has to go there. It can't go here. Can't go here. Can't go here. So yeah, we only know the one place that horse can go, and that's right here. And after that, you get the pawn. And then if Myer decides to attack the horse, you go in and take the pawn again. Like, it's very aggressive here. Very aggressive here. That pawn right there just sitting there. Take the horse. Instead, Jake being very cautious for no reason. Myer's getting an attack ready here. Again, the engine says, take the horse. So Jake is just unmobilizing his attackers now. He's going backwards. He's not going to actually attack and take a free horse here. Instead, he's going to move back and play defense. Horse finally moves out of its way. What's up next here for Jake? G1. Okay. It's on open file, yes, but at the same time, that horse was just sitting there for forever. Going for the rook right here. Jake has to move it. He does. Going after this rook now, but this is coming, right? And just like that, like Myer has to find the one good move, which is this, to defend this twice. But yeah, we'll see what happens here. Myer moves it back, going after the queen with the rook. Myer still has the advantage here. I mean, you can't take because this, and I don't think Myer's gonna be actually, taking. Instead, he's gonna move the queen back. Not bad. Defends this pawn as well. What do we do next, Jake? Let's see. This is a tough position to be in. Probably your best bet is to go d3 to put another attacker on that pawn right there. Maybe get d3 to go here, because this might come and then you can just take up the queen and then you have an attack on the rook. There's some options here. He goes back with g3. Myer's in full control again of this game. Horse moves in front. Okay. Bishop to G. Bishop to G4 or D3. They even like the knight to D2 for the knight for Jake, because they think they need more defenders on like the king. But I'd be only afraid of getting back rank mated if I did that. G4 going after the rook. Okay. Pawn goes out there to defend it. I think I'd take it. Jake, just take it. I think you take it, because here's the thing. This is coming, yes, but at the same time, what's he going to do now? What's he going to do now? I mean, like, you have to defend this square. You also have to defend this. And then, I mean, you could also take this with this next move. And then open up this. There's a lot of options here, Jake. A lot of options here. And it's all waiting for white. I mean, Myer would have to move this rook out of the way. Let's just say he moves it maybe right here, for example. You just go in, and you probably the engine wants you to take an actual check here, which is not a bad move either. But I'd probably take the horse here just to simplify things. And it's defended, and the queen's like, "Oh no, I can't really do anything now. Like I'm kind of stuck here. I'm not like really stuck here. I can just leave my queen here for another move. But now this is open. The queen needs to something needs to defend this. You don't want to do this because that's just taking the rook. So like you need to defend this square." And the queen probably has to defend it. Like the queen probably has to actually go to f6 to defend it. And you have to trade queens down to actually get out of this position. And that's what happened if Jake would take the pawn. But he doesn't. He just goes back instead of the bishop trying to be safe. He's being more safe than he is attacking, and it's costing him this game right now. Move 30, we got the horse moving back in. The horse says hello. Now you can just take the pawn for free. Jake moves, or oh yeah, the horse was actually attacking the rook. At least Jake's seen that. I was thinking, okay, just go in, take the pawn, but good thing Jake actually saw that. H3. The rook's under attack again. Gotta defend the rook. Maybe move this here. Moves the rook to G1. Okay. Myer is going to probably attack now because this is wide open here and the king is going to be in check. Yes. The only move that Jake has. Jake actually has a few moves here. You can go B1 or D1. Which one does Jake want to do? Let's find out. He goes D1, staying inside the center. Now, the best move for Myer is actually the castle. Get the rook out of this little corner here and castle. Myer goes for the check. Okay. Jake is forced to take the rook, and he loses the rook because of it. But just like that, we're back in it, Jake. We're back in it because this is a check. And just like that, after like the king moves, like he has to go to either D7 or I believe D7? D7 or D8. He can't. Can he go here? If he goes here, oh, that's just, oh no. Yeah. I mean, this is just check, and then you just take the queen. Queen wide open. So anywhere that king goes, even if it goes right here, for example, that queen's gone. So yeah, Jake, you see this? When he goes in right here and he's threatening this, he's threatening this. Look for a check first. Check. And just like that, the queen is free for you. And Jake does go for the check. And after the block, he goes all the way back down. Oh man, the free queen trade. That was a good move by Jake, but he doesn't see the queen. He just saw the check. He saw the check. He saw the check, but he didn't see the queens. Just take the queen, Jake. G1 check. Jake is now in hell. Queen gets to take the horse, but now he gets taken by the pawn. Jake is in no man's land. He had a chance when the queen was actually open and free. A check by Jake. He's trying to be a nuisance of the horse. Another check. Jake is moving up. Pawn gets a check. I mean, okay. I'm not gonna be too upset about that move. It's still mate 9 for Jake, but for Myer, by the way. Mate 8. Myer just taking pawns here. Mate 4. Mate 1. Mate 1. Where's the mate 1? Right here. Or no, wait. Oh, it's D2. D2, mate in 1. Oh my god. I forgot the pawn was right here. I was like, wait. He can move here, though. Yeah, mate in 1 right here. D2 from the rook. So what this does is that the king can't get out anywhere. It can't go anywhere here. And the pawn's defending the rook, so he can't take the rook either. Myer doesn't see it, though. He goes D1 check. Mate in 2. Next move up is goes down the rook. Yep, we got mate in 1. And this right here is mate in 1 as well. This ends the game. D6. Ugh. Tunnel vision, tunnel vision, tunnel vision. Jake is thinking he's going to actually escape. C4 check. Jake just takes the rook. But it's okay because we still have another rook and we still have a queen. B2. Pawn moves up. Pawn moves up. E2. Going for another queen here. Here's another queen. Myer. Playing very safe. Mate in 3. Mate in 2. Ooh. Still mate in 2. Mate in 1. Rook can do it. I believe queen to c5 can do it. Or queen c to g5. I'm sorry. I said c5. I'm reading the engine wrong a little bit. But you also got mate in 2 as well. You don't see those two like moves here. If you don't see these two. Let's see what Myer does. He goes in, takes a check, and that is going to do it for this game between Jake and Myer. At the end of the day, Myer wins 9 points in week 4, and Jake goes home with 0 and the loss. The good news is for Jake, though, is that he's only lost to Myer in the tournament. He's played Myer twice. He's 2-2 this season. But the only 2 losses to Myer, that sucks, man. It really does suck. But that's going to do it for our video of our analyzation of the first games here of week 4 with Jake and Myer. Our next games we'll talk about is probably going to be Ace versus Shu. And then we'll probably go to Linty against Vea. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. And as always, I'm out. Peace.